September 29th. Here we are, guys, wrapping up this month. Got a few days left to lock in some more production, but what an amazing month it's been. I'm so proud of you guys. So excited to see the growth that continues to happen here at FFA. And shout out to you guys for just constantly pushing yourselves, pushing your team, growing to new heights. We're going into the last quarter of this year, October, November, and December. And guys, this year is almost up. It's crazy to think about, but it's such an exciting time. It's such a great time to put your head down, grind it out, hustle, and hit those goals that you set for yourself for this year. So on today's call, we're going to talk about how to become financially free. And this was a concept that I never thought was possible, right? Way back in the day, I thought you just always were going to clock in, clock out, try to get ahead. But as we went down this journey, okay, as God gave us this opportunity in this industry to be able to get paid off of the work ethic we put into something, I started to see the reality of actually becoming financially free. And, check it out. It wasn't probably until this year that I realized I was always looking at that concept in the wrong light. And so on today's call, I'm going to teach you guys how to become financially free and how to do it after this call, right? Like following this call, you should feel that freedom and you should see that pathway for yourself. So no matter where you're at financially, this call is going to be directed towards helping you get from point A to point B. And it doesn't matter what spot you're in. It doesn't matter if you're in a spot right now, maybe you're brand new to this industry, you just jumped into it, and for the past 30 years of your life, right, you've just felt like you dug yourself into a financial hole and you don't see how to get out of it. I'm going to show you how to get out of it and do it within the next couple of months, right? So we're going to talk about how to become financially free as agents. And guys, this business, this opportunity that God has given us is such a phenomenal vehicle to be able to do that for you and to do that for your family. And I think it's our duty, right, to not be entrapped by money. But as we jump into this call, right, I want to talk to you guys real quick about the craziness going on in this world. And I would be a very bad leader, right, if I didn't address this. But check it out. We have so many things that have happened and continue to happen here where we live, right? School shootings. Yesterday, a church in Michigan, somebody drove their truck through it and mass shooting there. Real close to home in North Carolina, you had the Southport incident just happened. I think it was yesterday, the day before yesterday. You've got the Charlie Kirk incident. We could sit here for the next 3 hours and talk about all the horrific things that have been going on. And why am I bringing this up on this call? Because there has never been a more important time for you to put that spiritual shield up, right? Everything that's going on in the world, it's not people versus people, political party versus political party. It's spiritual warfare. It is Satan infiltrating, right, the minds of people and trying to destroy good. And guys, now more than ever, you got to have that spiritual shield up. You got to pray. All right. There is power in prayer. There's power in prayer. The evil that we continue to see can be ridden by prayer. And so I think I need to come on this call, right, and just say, hey, it's time we all band together, right? I don't care if you're left, if you're right, if you're tall, if you're short, it doesn't matter. Like the good book says, right, we're all brothers and sisters in Christ. And if we want to change the trajectory of what's going on in the world for our kids when they get older, we got to put that spiritual shield up. And now's the time that we need to do that. So continued prayers, right, for everything that's been going on in the world. And guys, let's talk about how important it is to just wake up every single day and invoke that prayer. Amazing things can happen when you do that. All right. And so I would encourage you, put the spiritual shield up, right? Let's defeat some evil as we go attack the world today. And let's talk about, all right, the topic today of how to become financially free. Speaking of good versus evil, did you know evil uses finances to just absolutely destroy people's lives? And I've seen it happen. I've seen attacks happen, right? They've happened to me and Alicia before. They've happened to people I know. He's really good, all right, at strapping people down financially. The number one divorce reason, right? I think over 50%, I think, of marriages ended in divorce. And did you know the number one reason for that is actually stress over finances, I believe is what the study showed. And so I think it's so important, guys, as business owners, as agents, right? We're an insurance company. Why am I talking about this today? Because it goes to the root of why you do what you do. All right. And so talking about financial freedom, number one, all right, guys, as you run to achieve financial freedom, you have to first recognize God as the source of the opportunities that will allow you to become financially free. And see, he works in funny ways. The source might not be what you were expecting, right? I was not expecting to go door to door and start selling insurance. I know Alicia wasn't expecting that either, but that's what started. I know so many of you weren't expecting that, but that's the vehicle he opened up for you. Every single day that you wake up, all the leads that you're going and driving to, you have to recognize he's the source of the commissions that you have for this day. And the thing that I love most about doing what we do is the uncertainty behind what's going to happen in the day. Now, I know for some of us, that stresses you out, right? Like you need, like you say, you need like a steady income, right? Guys, I love the concept of me going out every day and I have no idea what opportunity God is going to create for that day. And it allows you to live by your faith every single door that you go knock on, every phone that you pick up to call. And that's probably my favorite thing about commission-based sales, right? Is you never know the source that he's going to give you to take care of you and to take care of your family. But my question for you guys would be, if put it in the WhatsApp chat, do you stress out over money? Just say yes or no. All right, put it in the WhatsApp chat. And if you do, I've done it before, but then I realized something. That stress has literally never stopped God from providing for me or my family. It's never stopped food from somehow showing up on the table, right? And so why do you keep worrying about it? All right. And so recognize God as the source. Okay. Psalm 24:1 says, the earth is the Lord's and everything in it. And you could run around today being like so stressed out of what lead are you going to sell? He already knows. He already knows if you're going to have a 5K day or a strikeout day and the numbers are in your favor for tomorrow. He knows the source he's going to give you. Right. And so recognizing that as number one is the first step in becoming financially free. If maybe, if you look at your accounts right now, I know so many of you that have used this opportunity and became financially free and put your families in a situation that you no longer are stressed out. But if you're a newer agent, right, or maybe an experienced agent, but you've never really focused on this, and you're sitting there thinking, I'll be free once I pay this debt off. I'll be free once I, make this amount of money. You're never going to be free if you think that way. Guys, you can have the financial freedom, the mindset today when you realize you're not a slave to your financial situation, right? God is the source. He's going to give you the vehicle. He's going to get you out of the rat race, right? And get you financially free. He's going to provide the commissions. He's going to provide the team that you want to grow. You got to do the work, right? But he is the source. So after today's call, you should feel free because he's in charge, not money, right? But evil makes you think you're strapped down, but God doesn't have chains on him, right? He can wipe out that debt like that. And he's going to do it for you if you realize that he's the source first. All right, that's number one. Number two, becoming financially free. Work diligently and honestly. Diligent and honest. Guys, those two things for you as agents will get you down the path of financial freedom. You have to put in the work, all right, to get financially free. If you continue to do the same thing you've always done, you're going to be in the same spot that you've always been in. And so I remember when we were hustling to pay off debt, our first year in this industry, right? I think we paid off close to like $50,000 of debt like the first year and put over 6 figures in a savings account, all within the first 12 months. And that was us starting with zero, like nothing, right? I don't say that to brag. I say that to show you what's possible if you trust him as a source and you work diligently and honestly. Every single day, you got to be driven to do that. Right, guys? Becoming financially free means knocking on doors late at night. It means calling leads the night before and setting up 8 appointments for the next day. It means investing in yourself, investing in leads, pushing yourself, right? You have to do that if you want to reach the next step financially. If you want to get ahead, working hard always works. It will get you ahead in this industry. If you work more, you will make more. It's plain and simple. And so don't think about it so much. Just put your head down, knock the door, get told no, go to the next one, get told yes, go to the next one, go to the next 5, get told no 5 more times, go get told yes. And you just do it over and over and over and over and over again. You do that consistently for a year, you're going to be very well on your way to becoming financially free. But you got to work, keyword guys, diligently, efficiently, right? And hard and honestly. All right. The verse for that one says, lazy hands. All right. It's Proverbs 10:4. Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. It's right there in the book, guys. That's God has given you the secret to becoming financially free. Lazy hands make for poverty. Diligent hands bring wealth. All right. Hard work is rewarded in the Bible in almost every single section of it. And it's no different for us, right? It's our pathway. It's the guidebook that God gave us. He knew that the devil would use money to entrap his people, to make them idolize it, right? To make them feel strapped and stressed out, to ruin marriages. And so he knew that. So he gave us, all right, the way out of that. All right. Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. If you want to beat the devil and the financial strains he's put on you so far, take that sentence, write it on your hand, and just read it all day long and hustle. Hard work will get you financially free. All right. And 3, guys, spend wisely and live within your means. This is so important. Now I know, hey, we're in sales, right? Everybody likes to make money. Everybody likes, material stuff. Let's all not pretend that we don't like that. But spend wisely and live within your means. Guys, when we were running down this road, when we started in this industry towards financial freedom, we rented houses for like 3 years, 3.5 years. We sold our house. We moved from a 2,800, 3,000 square foot house into like a 1,200 square foot house with all our kids, right? Crammed on top of each other. And we rented for 3 years. Was it our dream house? No. All right. But did it work? Did it allow us to save a lot of money? Yes. And after doing that for 3 years, 3.5 years, God gave us the opportunity to purchase our dream house, right? And we could just went and bought it. But we had to live within our means, right? We had to spend money wisely, right? And that's a trait that will continue for you forever to become financially free, is spending wisely, being a good steward over what God has given you. If he's the source, he gives you the commissions, he gives you the opportunities, and now you have it. It's your responsibility to be a good steward of it, right? Ask him to guide you. What should you buy? What shouldn't you buy? What vehicle should you drive? What clothes should you go buy? Right? And guys, you don't have to impress anybody. All right. If you want to become financially free, you have got to stop trying to impress other people. Nobody cares what kind of car you drive. Nobody cares what clothes you're wearing, right? I'm wearing a Nike hoodie, all right, instead of some fancy. Why? Because nobody cares, right? What you wear, nobody cares what you look like. All right, you could dress yourself up in gold and people would probably make fun of you because you would look funny walking around in public. So it doesn't matter. Spend within your means. Guys, be a cheapo for a few years, all right? If you want to become financially free. Most people that are strapped financially, it's not because they're not making enough money. It's because they're just blowing it. They're not being a good steward of it. And guys, you have to take on that stewardship hat over your finances. If God is giving you it, you have to be a good manager. You're the property manager, right? For what he's giving you. Ask for his guidance. What should you do? What should you buy? What shouldn't you buy? Be a good steward over the blessings he continues to provide for you. All right. One of the biggest ways that the enemy makes us strapped financial is he puts pretty things in front of us, all right, to try to get us to blow what God's given us. All right. You don't need that junk, right? You don't need that stuff. Eventually, sure. All right, but I got a rule. If you want to become financially free, you don't start buying things that you just want until you could pay for it twice and not care, right? So if I want to go buy a new truck, I should have enough money in that account that I could buy 2 of those trucks. That's how I try to be a good steward, right? Of money is if you could buy it twice, you can afford it. All right. But if you don't have the money in that account to pay for it, you can't afford it. All right. Like you can't. Don't go buy the $50,000 vehicle if you don't have 100,000 sitting in your savings. This doesn't make sense, right? Be a good steward. And guys, if you really want to become financially free, you got to do those 2 things, which is spend wisely and live within your means and be happy when you're doing it, right? Was a little house, a bunch of, we rented like 2 houses, I think. Yeah, two houses over the course of 3 years. I didn't care what people thought of that house, right? It was a roof. It was affordable. We were saving a bunch of money to buy our dream house. And I didn't care what it looked like, right? Kept it up nice, right? But, it wasn't the mansion by any means. And I didn't care. All right. Nobody cares what you drive. Nobody cares what your house looks like. Nobody cares what you're wearing except for you. So spend wisely and live within your means. And then the last 2 topics. Whoa, the lights just shut off. Hold on. Motion detector got me there in the office today. Last 2 things, guys. Save and plan ahead. So if you're being a steward over all the commissions you're getting, you have to plan ahead. All right. If you want to become financially free in this industry, you have to take percentages of what you make and put it somewhere and pretend that you never made it. And this is so hard for people if they've never been a saver, right? But guys, this is my rule. This is a ratio that you can use it is the ratio we use to put over 6 figures in a savings account the first 12 months in this industry, right? Very simple. You take 10% of every single deposit that you get, and that goes into just one account for your reinvesting it back into your business, right? Leads, clothes, whatever, gas money, 10% into an account of everything you make. If you make $1,000, take $100, stick it into an account, and it just sits there. All right. Then you take 25% of every deposit that you make, and that's your tax account. All right. That's not your money. If you make $100, $25 of that is going to Uncle Sam. It's the way life works. Take it, stick in an account. Why 25%? Because generally speaking, that is more than what you're going to see yourself paying in taxes. So if you made 100 grand, if you made $100,000, right? And you did this all throughout the year, you'd have 25 grand sitting in an account. You pay your taxes out of it. You're probably still got plenty of money in there to roll over to the next year. So 25% of what you make goes to an account. I open it up at the bank account and it literally says tax savings account. Every time it comes in, boom, that's where the money goes. All right. So now that's 35% of your money that you made that you're putting away. All right. And now if this next percentage is a percentage that it depends on your situation. It depends on your bills right now. It depends how much you have to live off of, right? But minimum 10% goes to a savings account that it's just there. It's the emergency fund, right? And it's just there. So that's 45% of your money, of your deposits, that should be set aside. Okay. And inside that savings account, you bump it up a little bit, right? I know if you tithe, if you do that, that's the next point, but you can set some aside for that too. So basically, guys, you should be living off of 50% of your deposits, and the other 50 is for you to plan ahead with it. And if you don't do that, you will never become financially free because you're never planning ahead. You're just catching up all the time. So you got to do it. And I know what you're thinking. I can't live off 50% of all my money I've made so far this week. Yes, you can. All right. I promise you can do it. You just have to pay those accounts first. So you get $1,000 deposit. Okay. Take $500, divvy it up the way I just told you to, and then live off the 500. And what does that do? Well, if that 500 is not enough for you to live off of, you're going to go work a little bit harder. You're going to go knock one more lead, one more door, go out there on a Saturday morning when you didn't hit your goal for the week and make that money back. All right. So you got to stop living on 100% of what you make. Live off of 50. It's going to force you to find ways to either make more money or spend less money, but that will get you financially free. And that's the ratio, right? That's what got us putting money away and paying off debt, is being disciplined with those ratios for those deposits. Don't live off 100% of your commissions, guys. You're going to always be behind if you do that. So that's number 4. And then the last one, as we wrap up today's call, is give generously. Guys, I want to phrase this the right way. Don't give money just to expect to make more money back. That's not the concept, right? But inside your heart, you should feel a drive to give. It's God's intent. If we're the steward over everything he's given us, it's his intent that we take a section of that and we help people who need it, right? Who they're not there, right? And I think somewhere in the Bible, right, it talks about how, like, I don't know the exact verse, but it's something like, how dare you have like material possessions when your brother's starving, right? And you got to think of that, all right? Giving generously, what it does is it tells God that you trust him with the money he's given you by giving it away. And it unleashes you from the strap of money, right? Because if you're holding on to all the money that he's given you and you're like, oh, I can't give anything because I don't have enough of it to give and I'm in debt, and you're just holding on to it, you're strangling out his opportunity to have an impact with what he's giving you. And the minute that you're like, oh man, I really don't have much money, but here's $3 to the guy on the corner begging for it. I don't have a whole lot, right? I'm still in debt, but boom, here's $3. What you do is you unleash the devil's grip on that money, and you invite God to work, all right, in it. And so if you've not practiced giving, and it's not a duty thing, right? Like I'm not saying that you have to give X amount of dollars. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, if you see somebody in need, throw them a couple bucks, right? In your heart, you should genuinely want to do that. And when you do that, it unleashes all your account, all your situation opens it up, right? For God to come in and realize you're showing him you're not a slave to money. All right. When you give generously. And I've watched it in our life so much that when we give a specific amount, like not a specific amount, but when we just give generously, I've watched him then turn around and what he did. All right. I'm going to share a story. I had somebody reach out one time that they were in need. And it was a struggle for Alicia and I because we're like, oh, I don't, we don't have much, but they're asking for it. And so we took like a day or two, thought about it, and then we just gave it to them. Like just let it go, right? That month was an absolute record month for us in income that we've had up to that point. That month we decided to give more than we've ever given was the same month that we hit a new record income month. And I don't say that to talk about like to give and get, but it's amazing to see what God does in your life when you actually unleash what he gave you to other people. Right. And I've watched it. I've seen it happen every time. Now we don't give to get, right? If that doesn't happen, hey, whatever. It's no big deal. But it was amazing to see that. And in the Bible, that's the one concept that God has told us to test him in. He's actually said, give, right? Tithe, test me in this and watch if I don't let the floodgates open up for you. I think that's the only time in the Bible that God told us to test him. And guys, that's a key. If you give when you have not a lot of money, right? When you don't have much, if you give, he knows you're going to give when you have a lot more because you have that habit. All right. If you spend all your money when you only have a little bit of it, he knows you're going to spend it all when you have a lot of it. He might not give you a lot of it because he doesn't want you to just blow it all. You got to show, right? What you have, what you're doing with what he's given you right now is an example of what you're going to do with it if he gives you more. And so think about that. All right. Think about that. If you want to become financially free, are you doing the things today with whatever you have that you should be doing then? Because you're showing him, can he trust you with more? All right. And so I really think finances, wealth, and money is listed in that Bible more than almost anything else. And it's because he knows it's the number one tool that the devil can use to keep you focused on money, paying bills, to keep you focused on everything but your relationship with him. And if you want to become financially free, you got to do those things, guys. That doing those consistently over time will put your accounts way ahead of where they've ever been before. It'll pay off those debts. The good book has explained to us how to do this. But now as agents, we got to take those things and actually implement them. So as you go into your work week this week, as you go into the end of this year and you want to run to financial freedom, guys, just put your head down, do those things. It's going to happen for you. Now you're not going to wake up tomorrow and all your debt's gone, all your boom counts, whatever. But you do this every single day for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Before you know it, you're going to be like, dang, it worked, right? But you got to be diligent. You got to work hard and trust him as your source. So rambled a little bit on today's call, but hopefully that helps you guys as we go into this work week. Let's go have a big week out there. I want to see you guys in WhatsApp. Drop those selfies with your clients today, and we will be back here on Wednesday. Don't forget tonight, Team Zoom Monday night training is going to be a good one. You don't want to miss it. So make sure you tune into that tonight. Appreciate you guys for jumping on here.